Welcome to another night with Rod. We're going to be sketching some stuff today, and let's wait for some people to join us before we start rambling on. So, today, what we're going to do is we're going to start Art Wars. What is Art Wars? Art Wars is a very, very fun thing that I did last year. And this time around, I'm going to change the rules a little bit. So what we're going to do is everybody starts. Actually, hold on. Give me a second. I'm going to explain the rules of Art Wars. Okay? So this is something that I came up with a very long time ago. And then I was just flipping through my sketchbooks and I remembered that I created this. So Art Wars are essentially artist versus artist wars. It's doodle art wars. And then what you got to do is you have to, first, it's friendly, so it's not competitive. Second, there's 4 rules to Art Wars. 1, you challenge an opponent by drawing a fun emissary, a fun little character that you can send as your emissary as a declaration of war. So it can be any style, simple, complex, it doesn't matter. Rule number 2, opposing artist creates 1 too. But the one that they create has to kill your emissary, therefore declaring an intent of war, right? So you have to just destroy him in some way or another. Step 3, avenge the fallen emissary. So you beat or you destroy the character that they drew to kill your emissary. And then it's just rinse and repeat, back and forth, until someone wins. Now, how do you win? Well, you win if you have no retaliation within 48 hours or the other artist concedes. So you end up with a lot of little characters doing a lot of really fun things and getting into a lot of very violent situations. So it's very, very fun if you have a couple buddies that you can play with. And then you write down your totals. And I used to like to put them in the bio, but you know. So here's an example. And this is one that I did with someone. Essentially, you create your emissary gets killed, and then you avenge them. And then I drew an entire comic for this back when I did this the first time around. But what we're going to do today is we are going to create our emissary of war. So let me get some of my sketch tools because I totally forgot. I have my little book belt that I like to put my pens in that I'm going to be using that day. And just give me a quick second. Meanwhile, why don't you guys start getting your sketchbooks and warm up, and I'll be back in about like 10 seconds. All right, we're back. Let's see, did anybody leave some comments? Hey, Zumarella. Hey there, so glad to see you. I look forward to your video every Monday. Oh, see, that's awesome. That's so cool. I want to get to the point where people actually realize that I'm doing this every single week. So that is a super cool thing to hear. I can't seem to find some of my stuff though. But okay, we're just gonna start anyways. I was going to draw a little bit with pencil to clean up the lines, but we'll do it with a colored pencil. So what I want for my emissary of war. So he has to declare war. So I'm going to have him saying something. So I'm going to put a little box there. And he is going to be declaring war with a decree given by yours truly. So we're gonna make a scroll. Okay, and I don't know about you guys, but when I was younger, drawing maps and drawing scrolls was so cool to me. So cool. Because that was like the first taste of depth in a drawing that I ever got. So whenever like I would get like the cool effect of it like folding, like over, and then I got that down perfect, it was like the coolest thing in the world. It just felt like I was like the best illustrator on the planet. Okay, so my little decree of war. And okay, so I have a question for all of you while we sketch. It seems like it's gonna be a while, so I'm just gonna zoom in a little bit so you all can see a little bit better to the area that I'm sketching in. Okay, so I want you guys to tell me, who do you think I should challenge? Who should I send this emissary of war to? Um, who do you think would be a good challenge for me? I would love to know. And right now, let's see. Okay. Of course, I want to draw myself, but if I draw myself, like I get killed immediately. So I don't know if I want to do that. So I think I am going to send a little tiny cute critter, something a little derpy, but he's gonna have like the whole attire of an emissary. So it's going to be a little derpy animal holding the thing right here. I know that because he's reading the decree. Okay, so he's holding that. And I'm making little mittens. I'm just making little shapes. I'm not like worried about drawing the fingers and drawing the joints. I'm just drawing little tiny blobbies that fit over the shape that I just drew. And with that, I get the feel of something grabbing. So I can figure out, I don't even know what it's going to be right now. So I'm just trying to get like a feel for something and slowly seeing what type of character is going to come from it. And seeing that I do the hands relatively small, maybe I should not go with something like an animal. Maybe I'll make something a little bit more bipedal, right? So now I have like a nice little structure that I can build upon. I can exaggerate his posing to make it look like he's puffing up his chest. Drawing through helps a ton because now I can exaggerate it even more. So now, just like that, by exaggerating this, and I saw that I could take advantage of that and then actually draw it into perspective so that I could get a little bit more depth from it, even though it was so close to the bottom of the page. So what we're gonna do, okay. So there we have a character. Let's give it a little bit of a shadow. Since it's drawn with pencil, might as well have fun with it, Drawing with pencil is something that I absolutely love, but it's so messy. It's so messy. And unless you're doing it with colored pencils or coal erase pencils specifically, the Prismacolor ones, like those feel a lot more waxy. So you can build up on them a lot. But when it comes down to like an average, like HB pencil or like just normal pencils in general, they're so messy and I absolutely hate them. Okay, so an emissary of war for Rod. What would that be? What would that be? Let's see. What do you guys? What have you guys said? Clip that page, Rod. It keeps turning. Yay! I'm glad I came to another live stream. Hey, if you guys have any ideas as to what I should make this guy into. I absolutely love drawing on the spot. So feel free to leave comments, engage with me. This is my time with you guys, with all of my fans, all my peeps. So I would love to hear a little bit more from you. A knight with raccoon features. Down. That sounds, yeah, that sounds cool. So we're gonna give him a raccoon tail. And since we already drew the feet in this perspective point, we're just gonna draw the tail coming down from there. It's gonna have the little stripes. All right, so now he has a raccoon tail. Badass. Cool idea. And then we gotta make him into a knight. Oh, sorry if this keeps moving. I just keep on hitting it whenever I'm like checking comments. Being a one-man studio is hard, so bear with me. Raccoon. Okay, we gotta incorporate a raccoon. We'll write it right here. Raccoon, evil panda, and dinosaur. I will incorporate all those things. And a knight. It has to be a knight. I will do that. I can do that. All right, so if he's going to be a knight, gotta give him some armor. So recently, I actually molded a actual piece of armor for myself. Because I was going to get into, like fighting and like reenactment like scenarios. And, it requires an actual piece of armor, like an entire ensemble of armor, and it's super cool. So I don't know, like that is something that I might get into more, maybe. I already have the suit, so I just have to figure some stuff out before that, but it's a good first step. It was really cool the first couple times I did it, so that. And then lately, I've been like really enjoying pool. Let me find my pencil sharpener. Don't you hate it when you can't find that one tool that you need? There you are, Mr. Pencil Sharpener. And say, for example, whenever I am drawing, especially with pencil, I need to make sure that I have something to put all my like shavings in, because it's very easy for the little shavings to get onto your sketch, and then you end up smudging the hell out of them, and it's just so bad. Okay, so we're gonna make them looking up a little bit because I've been practicing the underside shots for characters under the jaw. So whenever I get a chance to, I'm going to try to implement the things that I'm practicing in my sketchbook. Remember, like I've always said, and maybe I haven't said it as much to everybody around, like, on social medias, but I very, very highly think that your sketchbook is for teaching yourself. And your finished illustrations are for you to show off what you learned. So whenever you're sketching in here, you should aim to try to teach yourself something. Oh, and by the way, the whole Mr. Depp story is there. Right there, one night. It took one night to do it. So, like, now I just have to actually create the artwork. Whew. I'm excited for that one. It came out really cool and really cute, and I'm like so looking forward to like showing it to everybody. Okay, so we have a raccoon tail. So we got raccoon. Evil Panda, Knight, and what was the other one? Evil Panda, a dinosaur. A dinosaur. Let's write that out loud. Okay, so I might have to change the perspective of this other leg right here because it's just not matching with the tail. So I often, if in my head, I'm seeing these lines like this, right? In my eye, in my head, I'm seeing these lines going into perspective. So whenever I see something that looks good in my drawing, I tend to change whatever else I drew to adapt to that one piece because that's already put into a perspective. It's grounding the character. Even if the legs weren't there, it looks like the character has some weight. So now instead of wanting the legs there, I'm going to want the legs to end up more like right there and right here. All right. So now he's going to have his legs a little bit more spread. Obviously, he has like a tail, so, that would probably, feed a little bit into that. And then you ground your character. And there you have a much stronger pose now because you took inspiration from something that looked good that just doodled in. And now my whole entire sketch is a lot better because of it. All right, so now we have the raccoon. We need to put an evil panda and a dinosaur. So for the dinosaur, oh man, okay. We can make a knight helmet that is in the shape of a dinosaur, which would be really cool. So we can combine both elements. So we'd make a knight helmet. So I'm just gonna map out the helmet. Very, very, very loosely. We're gonna make the front right here. This is gonna be where the mouth is. So therefore the mouth is going to extend out here. So essentially I'm drawing a head on top of a head. Hold on. There you go. Better. I'm drawing the head, and then I'm drawing the head of the dinosaur on top of that head. And that's why also, again, drawing things in perspective is helping me. Like I'm seeing a diamond here, and then I'm seeing another little bump, and then I'm just segmenting this into shapes in my head, right? Little by little segmenting them, and then the detail just comes by itself once you start doing that enough. I know there's nostrils that have to be there, so if I draw a little shape and then draw it going in, it's going to look like a nostril. If I need like an eye socket, I know that there has to be like a cavity that that eye has to go into. So let me draw the cavity first. And I know with reptiles and dinosaurs, the bumps on top of their head and their forehead muscles and stuff like that tend to be more exaggerated as well than just like an average human. And that's just from drawing them a lot. So I know that the cavity has to be right there. I also know that the mouth ends right here. So therefore there has to be a cheekbone, and that cheekbone has to have space to like for the mouth to be in there. So all the human anatomy that I know, I'm adapting what I know a little bit in order to create a cartoon a little bit more accurate, to have that little extra level of detail that, other people might not. And that knowledge just overall helps you immensely. We're going to build up a little bit of the shadow in the back to make it look like it's recessed into the eye socket. Again, knowing that there's an eye socket right there. I'm not just drawing stylized shapes. I'm building off the character. Think about this as if you were like attempting to do a 3D model of it. And then you're slowly sculpting the character out with pencil and soft pencil, like colored pencils. Oh, this is fabulous. This feels really, really nice and fluid. It's just really messy. That's why I don't do it. But my journey to get better line quality um, led me to backtrack a ton when it came down to the level of detail that I was creating. Because I was creating great artwork before I started doing that. I already was at a like professional level because drawing with pencil allows you a lot of plug and play. But it wasn't until I started drawing with pen that I saw an immense, immense change within 2 years of me doing it. Like first, my lines got a lot more confident. I was able to map things out in my head a lot better because I had to. Because if you don't, then your drawings with pen are incredibly messy, and there's no erasing. So you have to be very, very like you gotta kind of foretell what you're gonna draw. Even if you don't know exactly what you're gonna draw, you have to kind of foretell what it is you're gonna draw, and that's kind of weird to like like describe, but that's why I got incrementally better in the last couple of years. Okay, so we have our dinosaur. We're gonna give him derpy eyes because we cannot not give him derpy eyes. That's probably like half the stuff that I draw. We're gonna draw some teeth. I'm gonna draw some teeth on the bottom. Okay. The helmet's gonna get cut off right there. It's gonna be like chainmail right here. Into chainmail right here. Okay, so now the head's protected. Let's look at what comments you guys have. Okay. Rodgon, you're the best. Yay! I like being the best. Thank you. Hello, Rodgon. Today is my birthday. Oh, let's sing Lawrence Griffin happy birthday. Really quick. Happy birthday to you. There you go. Garbanzo, do you guys ever draw on a random piece and then the drawing ends up being really cool compared to something in your sketchbooks? Yeah, all the time. All the time. And you know what I do? I put them in my sketchbooks. I just, why not? Just tape them on your sketchbook. This is your collage of sketches and collections of your stuff. Just if you sketch it on a napkin, draw it on a napkin, put it on your sketchbook. There's no reason you can't. Just because it's on a napkin doesn't mean it's any less valuable. It's a concept. It's a really cool idea. So don't throw away stuff like that. Just take it with you. I always carry a little bit of tape with me, or like a Post-it or something that I can or I'll just stick it into my wallet until I get home. But I never throw away sketches that inspired me. I still have sketches from college that I still want to get to at some point or another. Okay, so now we have the knight and the dinosaur out of the way. So now we have to incorporate an evil panda. Oh, you know what? He's going to have armor on his tail too. Yep. And the armor is going to have dragon scales. Yep. Oh, you know what? Whoever I send this to has to draw it as well. Because they have to draw themselves killing it. So that is going to be so funny. Let's see what he said. That's gonna be hilarious. I'm going to die laughing seeing the people that actually take on this challenge. A panda head wall mount. No, 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 no. The character has to have some. Oh, he can just be an evil panda. Yeah, why not? Just make him an evil panda, right? And that way we solve the issue. Yeah. Okay, this pencil sharpener is not very good. Okay. Oh, good thing we're almost done with this part, and then we can go on to inking. Okay, so we're gonna make this to a panda too. So now we gotta give his helmet holes for his panda ears. And then the other ear would be around here, but you wouldn't see it there, so I'm gonna bring it there. So, okay, that's a perfect example of something that I would like to really, really like mention. Like, whenever you're figuring out something like ears and stuff like that, the reason that I'm able to do it so easy is because I do exercises like this all the time in my sketchbooks. That, and then I start going around and around and around, and I treat it like I'm actually touching the outside of the shape, like I'm building that, sculpting that, right? So when it comes down to drawing something like ears, it's very simple to just map out where both sides of the head are by doing something like that, and then adding the ears in the appropriate spot. It also helps when it comes down to understanding how, things would be put on a face. Oh, sorry. But yeah, it's like doing exercises like these, building basic shapes that you see any day into perspective, and then going in and drawing on the surface of these drawings. These exercises are invaluable, especially for people that are starting out. People that want to get into comics, do these all the time. And then if you have time, identify each one of the sides by defining a light source. And then figuring out how those things would affect things around them. And then just utilize the space that you get in your sketchbook as much as possible to learn as much as you can with the space that you have. These are your lessons. These are your plans. These are your ideas. So make the most of every single time that you have time to sketch. If you're very serious about doing art and you want to succeed in this, it takes a lot of time and dedication. And that dedication and time can easily be added to your normal schedule if you plan your time accordingly. So keep that in mind. Oh, you know what? We didn't change the perspective of the scroll. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna bring it down in between the feet, coming out, and then it's gonna come out of the page. Yeah, that's gonna have to be it. There you go. There you go. That works. Okay, so now we gotta make him into an evil panda. So his ears are right there. His head's right here. The mid section is right here. Has a little bit of an under chin because we decided to make him looking up. Most of the face would be covered. maybe the mask part would be like right here. The other eye would have a little bit showing on that side. Then his little panda mouth would probably come in around this area right here. Okay, I think we got it. And then we got to make him evil. So the evilness is going to come from his eyes. I might get rid of that. So we're just going to make his eye just white. And we're going to give him some blood. And a fang. Even though I don't know if pandas have fangs or not. Gonna give him this little heart nose. Because he's still my emissary. Even though he's a little evil panda, he still has to be cute. Like, let's be honest here. If I'm not sending out a cute thing, like I don't know what. Okay, so right here there's a tangent that I want to avoid. So I'm going to erase here. I'm going to bring the mouth a little bit higher. And that way it doesn't tangent and it doesn't make it look worse. And now I get to add the other eye. There you go. So that just made it better. Yeah, there you go. And he has to be talking, so he has to have an open mouth. So you got to bring the chin down a little bit. There you go. All right. So if you've never played Art Wars, this is something that was played at my college constantly, but it didn't really have a name. It was just a way for us to challenge our friends, challenge people that we thought that we could beat, and to kind of like establish yourself amongst your peers. If you could beat a lot of people doing Art Wars, it meant that you were more creative than them. And I'm gonna tell you, in an animation degree, which is what I went to go to school for, that is very, very valued. He's a panda, so he would probably have bigger feet. So I'm gonna make his feet a little bit more chunky. There you go. Okay. Let's see. It's just messy. The drawings come out better because you get to erase and refine, but man, sometimes it's so messy. Okay, so we have this guy. Now we got to draw our declaration of war. So and then we'll ink them. I might not even have eyes. Yeah, I think like that. It's a little bit better. Okay. I am here on behalf of my master RODGON. No, okay. It can't be that like drawn out. It has to be just a straight up declaration of war. I thus inform you. I know he's gonna be talking about it, so I'm gonna have to draw the thing like that. Okay, let's make the speech bubble first. We'll figure out everything else later. Okay, let's zoom out so you guys can see it. Like, there you go. So your emissary, like if you want to really challenge someone, it's really interesting to draw something complicated and super, super creative, right? But the opponent can always choose to draw something to blow up your character and get really creative if they don't can or can't draw your thing. So it's all about storytelling and it's all about, like creativity. I thus declare war on you, kind sir, madam. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so now I got to figure out how to make that text fit within here nicely. I does declare war on you, kind sir, slash madam. So let's see. I does declare war. Okay, so we're gonna put declare war on the second paragraph. On you, kind so madam. I does. Okay, so I think that would be a good layout. Let's erase as much as we can so it doesn't look that scratchy. It doesn't have to be erased completely. Honestly, whenever you start putting on darker lines, all the little scratchy lines just end up looking like texture lines, and it's perfectly fine. Even when you're sketching and you're like doing your stuff so you can do it digitally, that's a fantastic way that you can just do it. Like erasing all your sketch lines sometimes makes your sketches, drawings look flat. And I learned that just from trial and error, and I hated helmets have a bottom side. I don't know why I didn't draw the bottom side. Yeah, like just yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna sketch it a little bit darker. Declare. No, too much to that side. Declare war on you, kind. Okay, perfect. All right, so now I'm gonna go in and I'm just gonna do the lettering really quickly so I can get it out of the way so that I can play around with just the inking of the character and just any other detail that I want to add. So I'm gonna go in with just a Sharpie. Again, this is just, fun. I'm not too concerned with a perfect product, but I want it to be like an energetic type of font looking thing. So I'm gonna do a very scratchy looking font. And whenever I need to adjust the letters to make it fit, at this point, it's just gonna be however it comes out. It's not a very controlled way of doing lettering, but it gives it a nice feel sometimes. And I don't like things being perfect. Whenever things are too perfect, it looks fake. And honestly, I think that's the reason that so many people on Instagram and on, you know, Pinterest, they enjoy seeing sketches so much more than anybody likes watching finished illustrations. And it's just so funny to me. I've never been good at lettering though, like ever. I wanted to be a graffiti artist so bad when I was younger. So bad. But I honestly was not very artistically inclined when I was young. Like at all. I was not. Um, it took a long time for me to be even decent. Oh no, this is too thin. Oh no, it's like worn out. Madam. And I hope that's how you spell it. But if not, it's okay. That's, I guess, more so me than anything else, anyways, because that's terrible at grammar. Okay, so now we're gonna zoom in again so we can do some inking and try to explain what I do while I do it. Okay, so let's do some comments first. So this is when you guys get all shaky, so I'm gonna try to avoid that. Okay, what are the options to who becomes the opponent? At that point, it can be anybody, anybody. So if you guys have any suggestions as to who I should challenge, I will gladly take you up on it because I will challenge anyone. Lawrence Griffin, the sketchbook drill you posted on Instagram about drawing the bean clicked me. Hey, that's awesome. And also watch Proco for more information about it. Yeah, Proco is amazing. I learned a lot from Proco. Why you have stopped making videos? Well, I stopped making videos because it was hard to make videos and actually keep up with everyday life. It was just, it was tough. Um, Not enough time in the day, and then like priorities get shifted, and then things don't happen. It's not because I didn't want to. It just I just loved it. So declaration, or what course have you taken in college? I took a course for animation. So it was a animation course at the Art Institute of California in San Diego. And I kind of know that I got hustled into it. Like, like I was horrible at art, guys. Absolutely horrible at art. Uh, not okay, maybe even not so like horrendous, but definitely not somebody that should have been geared towards being an artist. Thank God, or whoever you might believe in, that I didn't, because I am incredibly happy. But I honestly had known I shouldn't have been an artist, but I was. I totally lost track of what I was talking. Okay, I got too focused on the inking, I totally forgot. So if you guys remember what I was talking about, just post it because I totally lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, what course did I take in college? I took a lot of animation courses, but they were more geared towards 3D animation and 3D sculpting. So the drawing aspect of things wasn't there. They didn't really teach many classes on how to create your characters or how to make them look better or how to fix them. And unfortunately, as well, there was no portfolio reviews. Or, no, actually, they implemented them later, but nobody failed them. Like, the point of a portfolio review is not to just be pampered and told that your art is okay. When someone's reviewing your portfolio, it's as if they were a client and they are essentially telling you, this is what you need to get a job. And if you don't have that in your portfolio, it's it's very detrimental for the new graduates that have no clue what people were looking for. Like there was absolutely like nothing in our curriculum that prepared anybody to get out of college and not have to like work for someone. Like if you did not get a job from an employer, you were screwed because they never taught you how to survive. They never taught you how to like, what to do when you're struggling, when you can't find clients, when you at that point, how do you make money? How do you like survive doing what you paid so much and put so much time and effort into? That's what they didn't teach you. And that's the stuff that I had to learn after college, pretty much self-taught. So I had to teach myself how to make the most out of my money with, how I would be able to actually live doing what I wanted. Because I didn't want to have a job at like, like a retail shop or like anything else other than art. You know, at one point I told myself, I dedicated myself to the idea of investing pretty much my life into my artwork, into my career, into this creative field. And like it would be, I don't know, like it would be like I can't even imagine not doing this. Like even when I wasn't making any money with it, I could not imagine not doing what I'm doing. Like not man, it's not even a concept I can grasp anymore. Like if I lost both my arms, I'd still try to be like guiding other people to create things. Like this isn't even like yeah, it's weird. Okay. Here I noticed that this little mesh thing is a little bit too close to the middle. So I'm gonna get rid of it. I'm gonna make it small. The only problem also with the Prismacolors though, because not every tool is perfect. There's no perfect tool. Is the fact that it's very, very painstakingly annoying to erase. So yeah, that's erasing. If you don't erase much, fantastic. Maybe that's why I was so inclined to drawing with pen. Maybe because those are the only pencils that I used to use. Okay, so right here, the jaw is coming out, and I want to create the effect of the jaw. So I'm going to draw some teeth, and it has to be going into the distance right here. So it's going to be going behind here. There you go. There you go. And that's how I get that side. I might change the mouth as well, just so I can get that cool looking part with this one. Okay, so that's the back. Then we can have some front teeth. Right there. Perfect. That came out nice. Okay, awesome. Now we have the underside of the jaw, which is the underside of the helmet. In. There you go. Nice. Nice. Okay, cool. That came out nice. Let's draw the top of the mouth. Yeah, so, like the thing that happens with art schools is that they're very good at teaching you everything in the industry for the most part. If you're going to a nice quality like art school, you're going to get a lot of networking and a lot of friends and contacts that will help you throughout, your entire career. Even to this day, I've helped out people that I went to school with, and they've helped me land some incredible jobs. So, those networks are very, very valuable. Now, you got to make sure that you make the most out of those connections, though, because again, if you come out of college and you slacked off and you just, let's be honest, even I did it, to a certain extent. I watched a ton of movies. I watched a ton of cartoons. Uh, I straight up played like ridiculous amounts of time of fighting games and playing Magic the Gathering to an obscenely amount that probably was not justified, with the fact that I was going to college and then I was actually working full time as well. Everybody does it. But if you're able to acknowledge that fact, because I didn't know it at the time, I was just, I was too focused on just learning to be around that environment in order for me to like even consider like having a career or anything like after that. Like at first I was so bad at what I did that I was perfectly content with honestly doing any sort of creative job. And I think that's what led me to be able to be so proficient in so many things, because I started with video editing and then I went into printing and then I went into production, like in garments and sales and then caricatures and then more sales and then just everything. And I'm a book editor, and it's been fantastic learning everything that there is to do, and being able to play a role in it. Like, it's really fun, for example, as well, to like drive around your town and then see people that have like your logo on their you know buildings and stuff like that. That's awesome. It's so cool to me. There's a couple breweries here that have logos that I've created, and it's just so nice to like, it's a source of pride that very few people are going to get a chance to experience. So if you're going to school for it, you know what? I think that whole face needs to be shifted. Yep. And it happens as well. Let's look. I drew the dragon head a little, or the dinosaur head a little bit too facing in a different direction. So we gotta draw him right there. Yep, that's gonna be better. Okay. All right, but we'll do that at the end because, yeah, we're gonna draw the scroll going around. Can you guys see? Yeah, you guys can see. If you're gonna go to school, make the most of it. Honestly, like I absolutely wish that I could go back. If I could go back, man, if I could go back with like the knowledge I have now, that would be unstoppable. Oh man, that'd be so cool. See, one thing that I've always thought about, and maybe you guys can give me your opinions, because like I love hearing your opinions as well. So, um, I've been wanting to go get my master's for so long in illustration. I want my master's in illustration, just so first so I can teach at a college level, because I would love to actually be able to teach outside of like my own academy and everything. To actually be able to go and teach in person would be an amazing thing for me. Like, that is a life goal. So, and in order to teach at a master's degree or at a college level here in California, it's required of you to have a master's degree. I think at any level. No, I don't know about that. But I know that you're required to have a master's degree. And I would, I don't know of a person more qualified. Actually, no, I know more than a handful of people more qualified than me to teach. But I would fight on them the passion behind teaching people. I can definitely give someone a run for their money, even at the top level. Like, I love, absolutely love fueling people with inspiration. I don't know if you've noticed it through following my channels, but I try to make people's life better by going onto my stuff. See right here? If I follow the line following from here around, so I had it wrong when I was drawing in pencil, but now I can correct it when I'm going it with pen. And since the line is so much darker, like the mistake kind of just disappears. Okay, so right here, I'm gonna make his little toes go in because I want to give him a nice fun pose. He's gonna have like bell-bottom pants, I guess. You know what? It's been about a year, but I love stretchy pants. I love the stretchy material jeans. Like those are so cool. Like I used to wear baggy jeans because, like I like mobility. And sometimes jeans are not very comfortable. So I tried some stretchy jeans one time and I was in love, people. I was in love. It felt like sweatpants, but acceptable to wear outside. It's so cool. Okay, so with feet, I normally tend to draw up to the ankle and then I try to map out how it would look like if it was like a doll, like a mannequin, right? So in this case, if I broke that shape down, it would be right there, and then, so I had it pretty close. If that would be the arch where the mannequin's foot would come out from. So we had it pretty accurate at first. We do the same thing on this side. Since I changed the perspective on things a little bit, things are going to be a little different. Okay, we'll do it like that. That's fine. Okay, then the scroll hits the floor and then changes direction so it's not curving for a while. When you're drawing with ink, if you change direction by doing a little bit of cross hatching, you can make it appear so much so. Little tiny bit of cross hatching, turning the pen to the side. Will add tiny little levels of detail that even though you can't really see them right away, I promise you it would make your drawing look a lot better. Okay, let's go with the back. So he has armor on his tail, but I don't want the armor to just look like it's connecting here. It's just going to be like plates of armor because otherwise it wouldn't move. Like you could not make something like that move out of a solid thing unless it's just like leather. So he has his plates over his, give him his little connection points so they connect. Then he has his raccoon hair. So I'm gonna do little feathering lines so it looks like hair. Wherever the hair would get squished together, I draw the lines a little bit more close together, and it gives you the depth that you need. Now we create the little stripes. The stripes should be going around the tail. So as the tail rotates, you need to shift those as well. And then we draw the little spikes that we were going to draw. There you go. See? If you think of things as, as you go and you plan them out, they will come out a lot better. When we start just drawing without thinking, that's when, we mess up our drawing, or we end up drawing something we didn't need to, or we end up drawing something in the wrong place. For these little like scroll things, I like to just draw the outside edge first, and then draw the lines going to where the other side would. And then you draw the other side. Doesn't have to be parallel, doesn't have to be perfect. When paper folds, it doesn't fold perfectly. So, okay, so we decided that we were going to erase his face. So now we got to come up with a different face for him. Do the nostrils. Okay. All right. So now we have to, oh, sorry about that. I got to remember to shift this up and down. Too bad there's I wish I had a moderator, honestly. Let's see, any more comments before we go into the face? Let's see. Please send it to, oh, cash art. Oh, that would be funny. I wonder if he'd actually, I'll send it to him and see if he's down for it. The skin of the dino shows that he doesn't need a weapon. No, he doesn't. He's a evil panda knight. He'll kill you with I guess he doesn't have really, really, really thick arms. Maybe he's like a zombie. I dub these the opponent. Please send it to Cash Art. Yeah, wonderful art. Thank you. Thank you, Andy Garcia. What art books do you recommend us? Let's see. Hold on. I'll get one. All right. So, first of all, helpless self-promotion. If you guys ever wanted to get a book that I illustrated, how do you zoom out? There you go. No, out. There you go. I have a book called The Book Fairy. I illustrated it. And you guys can find it on Amazon, or if you go to puppydogsandicecream.com. But I illustrated a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful kids book. And if you're looking for a book for your little one, this one is a really cool one. And you guys should find it. You can find it on Amazon, and you guys can find it, through Puppy Dogs and Ice Cream. But if you guys actually want an art book that I recommend, that I've had for a very long time, this one's really good for you guys to know. And it's Cartoon Cool, How to Draw New and Retro Style Characters by Christopher Hart. Now, if you are new to drawing, this is a fantastic book. I'm not going to flip through it out of respect, because honestly, I do believe that people should actually buy this. And it's not very expensive. They're like 14, 15 bucks or something like that on Amazon. So this one's I highly recommend, especially if you're getting into animation. It allows you to understand a little bit more about how simple characters are and how to break them down. And I used this a lot when I was in college. And even though I remember told you guys I wasn't very good, but it helped me learn the foundations a lot. So I really, really suggest that one. So Andy Drew, yeah, they did that too at my art class. I knew my art class bad, and they passed me a portfolio. Like, yes, like a bad art school will mess you up worse than like not going to school. I almost went to the art institute, but it was so expensive. Yeah, it was expensive too. I was still learning the basics, but getting there. Even with a part-time job as a delivery driver, could you make a decent artist out of me? Yes, Matt, I could make a decent artist out of you, but it would take a lot of time. What places would you recommend to help you make connections that isn't in school? Okay, so if you wanted to make connections that aren't in school, it's actually not as hard as people think. What you got to do is you got to put a little bit more legwork though. So you have to provide, like, have you ever heard the term, if you build it, they shall come? Yeah, I know, but it's very, 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 very accurate to when it comes down to creating connections. So now, if you provide people within your area opportunities to go meet up and talk and hang out with other people that are creative, you're going to end up with even if it's a small network at first, the more fun things get, the more likely people will come back and bring other people that they know. You know, people are starving to have things to do. People are starving for opportunities to get out and, hang out with people that have the same things in common as them. So, it might take a little bit of time for it to start, but if you are a patient person and you have, a little bit of like social skills, because I know a lot of us don't, let's be honest here, and it's something that we all need to learn. We all should get really like really really a lot better at social skills just as an artist. As a pure indication that you're an artist, you should definitely definitely do it. Okay, so let's get back to the face. So, okay, I mean, his face kind of looks like he just has a giant mouth. No, that's the helmet. He has like a dinosaur head helmet. Books to read to help anatomy. I don't think I have any right now that I would be like dying to recommend. Uh, I lent one out and I haven't gotten it back. It's Michael Hampton's uh, anatomy something. I can't recall. I've mentioned him in my other videos, so go binge watch my videos, and then maybe you can find it. Okay, so we gotta still come up with a face. We still have to make him evil. So now the face shifted here. So now the mask of the panda would go around his mouth, around his nostril, like his mouthy area, that would elevate because it's another shape right here, and we indicated that we wanted the chin here. So there you go. There you go. All right, that ended up pretty cool. Pandas have little heart-shaped noses. At least I like to draw them like that. And he's evil. So yeah. There you go. There you go. That's so much better. So much stronger. I like it. Okay, so let's go in and start. Alright, since I'm making him evil, I'm gonna add a lot of sketchy lines around, and that's just gonna. Whenever you draw something with a lot of sketchy lines, it gives you the feeling of distress, and therefore it makes the viewer like uncomfortable to a certain extent. Uh, you normally use that feeling to create things that are bad or horrid or very, very negative. So that is like a little trick that you can take advantage of. If you feel very stressed out one day, just start sketching something and start adding little sketchy lines all over the place, and you'll see how it's therapeutic to a certain extent. Like like when people say that you have to draw, no, that you have to like write a letter and then burn the letter without sending it and all that, like like psychological stuff that comes with being mad with someone or something. Well, I mean, I guess that applies a little bit to your drawings as well. So if you are angry, draw something angry, and then you know let that be your way to like get rid of that emotion. I found that that's helped me in the past a lot. So that's just my friendly tip from me to you guys, just from experience. So who else should I challenge? I think I have time to challenge about 2 or 3 people at once and not be completely overwhelmed. So I'll definitely send Kesha at one. I was gonna think of challenging Renee Cordova. Just challenging Renee Cordova. Like, like me and him like have very similar tastes when it comes down into like what we find humorous. I follow him on on Facebook, and like every single time he shares something, I end up sharing it too. So it's we have a very similar what do you call it, sense of humor. Let's see what you guys have said. Let's see. Oh, there you go. Someone said it. Okay. Books to help. I love your art style, RODGON. This sketch is looking brilliant. Thank you. Michael Hampton's dynamic, great figure drawing. Yeah, that one. Hola, estaba viendo de lo de la guerra de dibujos. Muy buena idea. Oh, he was looking to see about the art wars, and very good idea. Well doing, thanks, Chris. Google Secret Anatomy for Artists. Figure drawing, design, and invention. Got the book still. Thanks for your recommendation, Rod. Yay! That one's it. Does figure models better reference picture for anatomy? Planning to buy one. Uh, I don't know what you mean by that. Do you offer virtual mentorship? I do. I offer mentorship to a handful of people, and normally it's a hands-on like thing where I talk with you every week or as much as I can because sometimes I do get really busy. So I talk at least I try to do it at least twice a month at the like at the minimum. But you get to have access to contact me anytime you need any questions or if you need any revisions or if you need any help with anything. Uh, I offer a lot of experience and I've helped people of all ranges to achieve like a certain level of of art or goals that they have in mind. Anywhere from getting people, helping them get a job, or if they're trying to like find just inspiration because they haven't drawn in a long time, or maybe they just want to like chill, like they just want to have somebody that's a little more experienced to hang out with, and every single person that becomes my mentor or my apprentice, even if, they end up not continuing with the program because of, money, or they get busy or whatever. Every single one is, a highly, respected friend of mine now. And I absolutely love every single person that has ever signed up to my apprentice program. And I am normally very picky about the people that I take. I do require people to, have a certain level of focus, and they have to be very dedicated to what they want to do. So you have to already understand a little bit more about what you want to do, even if it's the simple goal of just getting better at a certain thing. Like maybe you just want to be able to draw heads by the end of the year, or maybe you want to start a comic book but you don't know where to start with. That's the sort of stuff that I help with. So it's not for everybody. It's not going to magically make you a better artist. I'm going to give you the tools, and I normally cater, the learning depending on the person and how I see that they learn. So, but yeah, that's something that I've offered for a very long time. People can sign up through it through Patreon, but I ask people to contact me first because I do not take on everybody that signs up for that. I'm a very, very picky person with those that I teach personally. Like the people that I take underneath my wing have to have a certain drive that I do. Like they have to be hungry for it, and they have to be, very, very okay with people telling them they're not doing things right. Um, that's like a nice little factor that I can literally bring into this discussion right now, and it would help a ton of you guys out there. Be open to criticism. Don't allow people to, rag on you, but criticism of your artwork by somebody that's trusted, or even criticism by other people, will always teach you something new about your art. Okay, right now I'm just trying to clean up a little bit because this pencil is incredibly hard to get out of the paper. So one thing you can do is, if you have one of these pink erasers, normally they're very hard, but rub it against some sort of cloth, and then it becomes the normally a good way to remove these. But, that is the drawback of pencil. It's okay. Doesn't matter. Let's see. We still have to have some text here. It doesn't have to say anything. As long as you write little scribbles, it'll look like there's text. This is rolling up, and then here I'm going to sign it as if I would sign something, and I'm signing upside down. There you go. And then war. War. And then scribble, 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 scribble. Okay, so I have now officially, there you go. So now we have my declaration of war. I'm going to try to clean it up a little bit more. And I'm going to do that by getting rid of a lot of these sketchy lines right here. And I'm literally just going to do that by drawing detail over it. So I'm going to draw it like it's outside. And by doing that, I just eliminated all those sketchy lines that I was trying to erase. I don't need to. And now the scroll looks better because it stands out against the white. But being creative. Make the inside a little bit darker so it looks like it's more grounded. Make little tiny lines that overlap the other things in the page, and it's going to look like he's actually standing within grass. Little tiny details like that as you draw are the ones that are going to make your drawings pop out even more. Okay, so we did that. Let's see. Okay, so since I can't really erase that, I'm just gonna make little tiny crosshatches over the sides of him and give him a little bit of a shadow in the front so it looks like he's lifting his feet from the ground. Okay, a little bit of a shadow right there from here. And since we do have the perspective lines going to the back, we need to just extend this a little bit. There you go. You'd be surprised how fun it is to just scribble, 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 see what textures come out, scribble, 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 and just keep scribbling. If you mess it up, just scribble some more and try to fix it. Okay, it's gonna give it a little bit of a darker shadow right here, just so that the scroll stands out against that other red. I'm gonna do the same thing here. Okay, so now that just looks a little bit better. I'm gonna do the same thing on that side so it stands out. And I think the final touch would be to add a little bit of color. Let's see if I can find. Let's see, what color, what color, what color? We're gonna use this just peach highlighter and just add a tiny bit of color around the text, just to make it really pop. By keeping it nice and sketchy, we keep the focus away from, you know, a lot of the other sketchy lines. Make the lines connect right here so it just guides your mouth or your face towards this area. And I'm gonna smooth out a little bit of the detail of the pencil now that we have something that has like fluidity, so you can kind of blend things. Gonna create a tiny bit of shadows. Little tiny little details throughout that are just the final little touches before you can say your illustration is done. Whenever you see you can improve something or add more contrast to it, and it's going to take you a second to do, just do it. So many people are so, like, this is going to sound horrible because it's not all of you, but a lot of the younger people, like nowadays, and it pains me to say this because you guys work so hard on so many other things, but sometimes you all don't like to put in the work, and you give up whenever there has to be like more work done than you're comfortable with. And I get so many requests from people that want to get taught, and then more often than not, they tend to not be able to keep up. And it's not because I have like ridiculous demands of people. It's because they get the first taste of critique, and it's not always praise, and that doesn't sit well with a lot of people. That's why I'm very cautious as to whoever asks for like, portfolio reviews. I'm very, very cautious, and I always ask the people if they're actually looking for a review or they're looking to be told that they are, doing okay. Because some people want affirmation, but some people want review. And the people that want review need to understand that reviews are meant to find the flaws in your art. Reviews are meant with the purpose of, figuring out what you gotta be doing next. So it automatically comes with criticism. It's literally part of the nature of a portfolio review. You're criticizing somebody's work in order for them to be able to shift it in order to be profitable with what they want to achieve, be it a job or you want to pitch a project. It's just something you have to keep in mind. Let's see. Okay, sometimes when the pens get clogged up, just rubbing it against your skin, because your skin has a different texture than the paper, but this time around I don't think it's working. Doesn't like to work over pencil. Pencil. That's okay. I'll fix it digitally or something. So let's see. What are we missing here? So we have our emissary. Let's just fill out the page, since it's just scribbles anyways. I think we covered everything that we wanted to draw on there, thanks to your guys' feedback. And then one thing that I can draw to make this even more intimidating would be like an army behind, like just a silhouette of like pitchforks and like a demon, like something with wings. And let's see, what else? Maybe a giant robot with an eye glowing or something. And then let's see, maybe a tentacle. Okay, so that's gonna be my. Wait, what's this? There you go. This is the dude. He came out fantastic, don't you think? We added a little. Okay. We added a little bit of a background. We gave like some monsters and stuff like that. As anybody that goes to Art War with me is going to go down. So, like I mentioned in the other little part two video, the people that I plan to challenge are some very, 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 very good artists. So hopefully one of them takes up on my challenge, and if not, I will start taking on declarations of war from anybody that wants to do it. So you all have a fantastic night. Thank you all so much for tuning in and staying with me for like the hour and a half that it was. Check out little part two for the extra little information that you guys might have missed because I did not notice my phone died. And you all have a wonderful night. Okay? I can't wait to see all the art wars that you guys create, and make sure to hashtag doodle art wars in order for me to see what you guys come up with. And any completed artwork will be displayed by me in videos. So keep them at it, make some really cool ones, and I'll see you guys in the next video. All right, take care, peeps.